Right now at 6, not everyone in Colorado has equal access to mental health resources.
There's a shortage of mental health providers in rural areas.
So our state is doing what it can to level the playing field.
I need more providers to be here so we're not overwhelmed.
Keeping the memory of their loved one alive.
My father was in the Army, World War II. He enlisted in 43.
On this Memorial Day, we remember the service members who sacrificed their lives for our freedom.
It feels very sobering because I wish we weren't so divided as a nation.
Plus, thousands of runners take over the streets of Boulder for the return of the Boulder in person.
Thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 6. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And I'm Tom Mustin. Glad to have you with us tonight. The end of May is bringing the end of Mental Health Awareness Month.
In the aftermath of the Uvalde tragedy, Texas officials say the state needs more mental health resources, particularly in rural areas.
And that got us thinking about Colorado's own behavioral health challenges in rural counties. Denver 7's Megan Lopez takes a look at those challenges and some solutions.
It took a tragedy for Texas officials to call for more mental health resources in the state. A tragedy to highlight a crisis experts have been warning about for years.
There's a shortage of mental health providers in rural areas.
In Texas, dozens of rural counties have no mental health providers at all. In Colorado, a similar story.
Colorado ranks near the bottom or at the bottom when it comes to adult need for versus access to care.
Of Colorado's 64 counties, a 2020 report found 22 of them have no mental health providers, all in rural areas. Places like Baca or Kiowa, Rio Blanco, or Huerfano counties.
To have almost half of those not have access to a psychiatrist or psychologist, that's huge.
It's a problem.
Not having enough now is not new. It's just worse.
Ingrid Johnson from the Colorado Center for Nursing Excellence is keenly aware of. Ingrid knows all too well how hard it is to recruit someone to work there.
For one thing, it's hard to get people to move to rural if they're not from there.
It's why CCNE started their Grow Your Own program to help nurses in the community obtain a certificate to practice psychiatric mental health by funding their education.
And then part of the deal is they have to stay in their community for 2 years for every year they receive funding.
I'm a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner.
Dana Murphy Parker.
I live and work in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Is one of the program's success stories. She's one of 150 who have made it through the program and is now working in her community. She loves what she does, but says there are days it's hard.
Sometimes it's a challenge to schedule everybody.
Dana could have retired by now, but she stayed. There's too many people who need help and too few who can offer it.
I need more providers to be here so we're not overwhelmed.
There are 22 counties in Colorado without a mental health provider. 22 counties where people either have to drive or wait or rely on telehealth. These nurses say the Grow Your Own program is an important part of the solution. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
And Colorado has a bipartisan behavioral health task force. Their job is figuring out how to best use funds to address mental health issues. This legislative session, lawmakers passed several bills aimed at adding more capacity for mental health patients, as well as providing more funding to support youth, families, and schools.
Tonight, search and rescue crews in southern Colorado have located a boat that capsized at Lake Pueblo State Park. Crews also recovered the body of 38-year-old Jessica Prindle. One person is still missing. The search to find that missing person will resume tonight at 10 when the winds die down. The boat was carrying 13 people when it capsized yesterday evening due to high winds. 8 children and 3 adults were rescued. Recovery teams say the boat capsized in about 90 feet of water. Rescue teams in Rocky Mountain National Park have found the body of a climber who was killed in a rock fall and avalanche yesterday morning. This happened on Mount Meeker. A woman and another man were rescued yesterday afternoon. We're still waiting to learn more about the man who was killed.
It was a snowy Memorial Day in the high country today. This video was posted to the Discover Colorado Through Your Photos Facebook page of the conditions this morning in Allens Park. We also sent a crew to check out the conditions in Breckenridge and over Loveland Pass. We found a lot of people with out-of-state license plates. One family from Houston, Texas says they left humid 95-degree temperatures for this.
Packed the Colorado layers for this trip, but yeah, this guy might be his first snow that he really remembers, which is great.
We have some more wet weather on the way for Colorado. We'll check in with Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson in just about 10 minutes.
And of course, it's important to remember what Memorial Day is really all about. It's honoring those who paid the ultimate sacrifice serving our country. Denver 7's Ivan Rodriguez spent the day at Fort Logan National Cemetery for the first wreath-laying ceremony since 2019.
Oh, Heavenly Father, we just thank you and praise you for the freedom that these men secured.
Every headstone inside Fort Logan National Cemetery has a story.
Lauren F. Robb, he fought at Pearl Harbor when it was bombed.
A story families hope to always keep alive.
Thank you that Dad was courageous and fought the good fight and just persevered till September 8th, 1982.
For these two sisters, that's the day they lost their dad to suicide after living with PTSD from the attack on Pearl Harbor.
He ended his life because of the insanity. And so it's been a very challenging for us to try to reconcile the struggle that he, and I was probably 50 years old before I really appreciated that struggle.
For them, Memorial Day is more than just remembering. It's a call to action to help other veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress.
I would want him to know how absolutely thankful I am that he fought, the sacrifice he made. There's no way that I articulated that while he was here.
As hundreds gathered to honor those who served, these two grandparents were teaching an important lesson.
We've been reminding him that there are many, many here who've been gone a long time, and maybe they don't even have anyone who comes out to visit them anymore because they've been gone such a long time.
Inside this cemetery alone, several generations of their family can be found.
My grandfather on my mom's side, and he was World War I in the Army. My father was in the Army, World War II. He enlisted in 43.
A tradition that will continue for their grandson.
I'll be on the other side of Pop. Pop will be on one side and I'll be on the other side. It'll be just Kevin C. Flanagan, and on the other side it'll just say his wife. And then you'll have 3 generations of people out here to visit.
Stories that will never be forgotten, keeping the memory of thousands alive. Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
Wow, 3 generations of service in that family. Colorado has a rich history of supporting our service members. In fact, one of our state's most beautiful national parks was once used to help train military members during World War II. Great Sand Dunes National Park shared this picture on its Facebook page today. Check it out. It shows U.S. soldiers in Jeeps training at the sand dunes. These soldiers were preparing to be deployed to northern Africa, and they needed the training to become accustomed to desert terrain and sand. Those cottonwood trees you see along Medano Creek, they are still there in the same location today.
Such great military history in Colorado. And conditions were perfect on the Front Range for the return of the Boulder today. I had the pleasure of running this year's race. I'm not sure if pleasure is the right word for it, but we'll go with that. And employees from here at Denver 7 lined the route to cheer on the runners. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson also emceed the event and did a great job. And there was a lot of excitement all morning long. Denver 7's Christian Lopez shares some of the sights and sounds from today's race.
People love it. They're dancing. Some people take a break from their running and they just start doing a little twist. It's fun.
How much does it mean to you to cheer people on with the accordion?
Means a lot. It means a lot to me. It's my first year playing. I usually run it, but this year I'm playing.
How much fun are you having out here today?
I'm having a great time. I mean, just absolutely all the music, all the people. It's wonderful. I always love running this.
What do you think of the accordion?
He's playing really well.
What was it like not having this for the past few years because of the pandemic?
Sad, because I love running. I'm on my cross-country team. It's just hard not to be able to have something like this where it's such a big event. Everybody loves to do it. It's always fun for me.
How much does this mean to the community?
A lot, because everybody here loves this. People go out. It's just a time where they can have fun.
People are having a good time, a lot of energy in the people. It's a lot of fun. I just want to be here all day long and play. It's just so much fun.
Many Many businesses I talked to along Pearl Street also told me they were very excited for that boost in customers today and just to have this community tradition back after a few years. Reporting in Boulder, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you, Christian. So much fun out there. And there was a really special moment in the Boulder today as Ukraine's Valentina Varetska rounded her way into Folsom Field. She was given a Ukrainian flag to proudly wave on the final stretch. You see it right there. Valentina was the first Ukrainian runner to finish the race, and she received some of the biggest cheers of the day.
I bet she did. And the return of the Boulder offered a sense of normality for a lot of people in Boulder County. Robert and Elise DeBarros are a father-daughter duo who have been running the race together for years. Their family was one of hundreds to lose everything in the Marshall Fire back in December. They say they've learned endurance through running, and today's race was all about resilience and recovery.
After the fire on December 31st, there was so much uncertainty. We came back, we didn't have a house, and we didn't know what was next. We had no idea.
Everything is temporary, and your connections in life are really the most important. So I'm so grateful for that new perspective.
What a great perspective. And the family is ready to start rebuilding their home now, but they say that race is far from over.
Fairly quiet tonight, but tomorrow night looks like some heavy mountain snow and a good rain for the plains.
Encouraging the next generation of STEM leaders.
I'd pay $1 million to be 13 years old again to take this class.
We take you to the school helping kids fulfill their dreams.
Plus, the Avs are back in the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years. We look at what it will take to return to the Stanley Cup Finals.